after a lot of correction, we are still in that mixed territory where we have majority of the coins in red and some of them turning green. So now when you look at the red area and check for opportunities, you do see a lot of them in which XRP is also there with the opportunity showing, the buyers are like 171 million as of now and 142 million in sell, which shows there's a lot of potential there. And now you look at another one here, but the volume is too low. So when you go in heavy with your money, you need to make sure you're going to enter into an asset which is going to give you the ROI, and you're also able to take that money out, because a lot of people get stuck in that territory, seeing their portfolio grow, watching it doing 5-10x but not being able to take it back. We know this issue well, and that's why we try to get into those coins which will allow you to take that profit out. Now, while talking about profits in this market, at least at this moment, I see people asking, can I get a 10x or at least a 3 to 5x? Is that even possible? Are we going into a bear market? Because people consider this particular correction as a bear market, or we're going into one. But what we have to understand is, don't fall for those who say it's a bear market. Now, it's completely your opinion to select which narrative you want to enter, but make sure you understand this. Because if the price history is showing you it's following a trend, it's kind of staying there in a trend line, and you have a support line on horizontal, you have another one here. So bear market is like, you usually drop how much? You go back in history, say this is one of the bear market for you, right? Now you can go all the way back and look like, what the market has been doing. Now you come here and you take the roof there and look like what was the first range of consolidation, which was like 70% drop in the market. And once you hit that level first, you consolidated there for around 280 days. Remember, that was a 70% drop there. So now if you kind of try to look at what happened afterwards, it's like an 84% drop. Now you come here and think about those people entering after this drop. So you can measure from the capitulation range, which would be from here, and then you take all the way back down, and if you entered there, you are 50%, say 44% down. But from the peak, it's like 84, 87. Fine. So now you come here and you are looking at the market from the top to as of now, it's just 30-35% drop. So what is it showing? Is there any similarity from the previous market where you can find a reason to understand what's happening in the market? Because the markets are unpredictable and we are trying to make sense of it. If you see in the market there has been a lot of correction in 40% drop, 30% drop over and over again in this particular asset, you don't need too much doubt, right? You can understand, okay, this is a support. If we take that down, okay, fine, we have another one. But at least for the time being, we are not in a bear market. That's not saying we are going to go into a bear market or not go into a bear market. We will definitely go into a bear market. Markets go up and then they come back down. But the question is the market going down after 65k as the top? Which I think is not the probability right now, because the market is currently trending way higher. So you look at this bottom, you look at the next one, and you project it upside and you go exponential, because this trend line is moving like this. Fine, you have a trend line which is decent, and then you have another trend line which is trending like this. So you go all the way higher by increasing your angle of elevation. So as the price is moving higher, it's getting more momentum, and at the same time investors are stacking in. Now, yes, it doesn't make sense to buy this asset here, but based on Kathy from the ARK Investments, she is highlighting that this is a huge opportunity, because she consider if institutional money, at least 5% of it is coming into this market, it can be 500k Bitcoin. Now, this is kind of something like going for the mass here, and I would ask like, okay, fine, what's the narrative they're giving you here? So it's like an institutional bull is here for BTC, and they are accumulating. Now we have seen that, right? We have seen big guys buying 100 Bitcoin, 200 Bitcoin, 150 Bitcoin, like that, and accumulating that. But what you really have to understand is their time horizon is not a year. Their time horizon is not 3 months. They are here for next 5 years, next 10 years. So we really don't know what next 5 years and 10 years is going to do with what ICC is talking about right now, because they don't even, right now they highlight like they didn't give a green light for BTC and Ether, which is a lie. We all know. We are following news on the regular basis and we saw it from SEC. So if that's the case, now I'm like, okay, that's a big question mark for me as an individual. Now, everyone has different perspectives. So if you are an investor, you are looking to buy something undervalued so that when it becomes above the fair value, you're going to take the profits. So now you come here in this particular asset and you look like, okay, this market cycle, the bottom was like $3,000. Right now, after this drop, you're like $50,000. I don't think it's undervalued because the design was as a peer-to-peer currency, right? A transaction, peer-to-peer network where you can transfer. Now, if you're trying to do that, good luck. Now, it's way better than Swift in terms of time, sometimes. Say 45 minutes, that's okay. But in countries like here in Korea, or you go to India, you go to, other countries where they are ISO, you kind of see, okay, you do a transaction, domestic one, it's instant. You use fintechs for your international payment, they are kind of instant, 5 minutes, right? And cheap. So why do you need this? And that's where Bitcoin failed. Now, let's not go into that detail. Rather, let's look at what XRP is doing. In similar situation, you kind of see that it's getting bullish, because when you look at the understanding of the market and when you see what the market is giving you, that idea is the important stuff there. You don't really want to jump out, you don't really want to jump in, but you want to understand what the market is doing if you're already in this market. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. In our recent video, we talked about this, what's going to happen, what people are saying, what you can anticipate, whether BTC is going into a bull market. This particular video was especially about that. Now, 6 days before, before we actually dropped, we had a video saying, worst days, is it actually coming, what to look out, blah, blah, blah. And we do understand that markets are unpredictable, but if you have an idea of what the market is about to do, then you're like, okay, fine, okay, we were anticipating this, we broke down, we came down here, which is good. Now you look at the RSI, it's coming back up, then the price is going back up. So what you're looking at, or what you need as an altcoin investor, is that you wish the price go back up, retest that broken level, then get rejected, because it's not only the support broken previously is now the resistance, it's also the moving average, because people tend to sell when the price gets closer to the moving average. Now this is Bitcoin dominance, right? So that happens in majority of altcoins. They have to move higher compared to that of the Bitcoin. That's how, or when you actually see these move higher. But now when you come down here and look at on a weekly, you kind of see like, okay, Bitcoin, it's comparatively doing fine. You look at a lot of altcoins, it's like minus 20%, minus 30% last week. And when you come down to see the same for Bitcoin, you're like, okay, it's actually fine, right? 10% down. But considering the value which has been erased from the market, it's big. Believe me, it's actually big. Now, you need to actually look at other stuffs, like we do follow Ether, we do follow a lot of different coins, because in our portfolio, we have a lot of different coins, right? At least 5, 8, 10 different coins. So that but now the reason for that is we don't know which coin is going to move first. I don't know, you don't know, no one knows. But we can look at the probability and then be a value investor, understanding which asset has the value, right? Say people ask about a lot of different coins, starting a node, staking, buying in long term, blah blah. So it all depends on what type of investor you are. And if you are a long-term guy, understanding, okay, this was previous to resistance range, and last time when you came up from this bottom, you had a little bit of correction, but you came up here, great. Once you came there, you got resisted, fine. Then the next time, again, that was resistance. Now it's a support. again it's a support. It wicked lower. Zoom in and see what is happening there. We came back down, but sellers really tried to push us down, but buyers came back in, they bought the dip, the price went up. Now it's coming back to retest whether that same amount of sellers are holding, right? So when the price goes down, what's really happening? They imagine the price is going down to one particular level where sellers previously had it, and then if you are coming to that level and buyers are not pushing the price up, meaning the sellers is selling, and if there is someone to buy it there, that is getting executed. Remember, you want to buy, someone need to sell. So when you are a buyer at that particular point, say 100 units are being dropped into the market, and if 110 is being absorbed from the market, the price goes up. If it's only 90 being absorbed in the market, the price come back down because the 10 was already there and it's balance in that territory, right? So that's how markets actually work, right? The supply and demand economics. If people are neglecting this one and just saying, it's the market, you do this, you do that, without understanding what's happening in the market, that's going to be difficult. Now, you as an investor looking at the RSI right now, you're like, okay, it's been consolidating in this particular line for some time. So you come here, you look like, okay, what's happening? You see like, okay, the price is engaging inside this. We went up, say 175 days. We came back down 250 days, which took another 75 days to bottom out. Then we topped out here by 300 days and came back down by around 400 days. So you see like each time the bottom is taking more time. Last time it was 75 days. Now it's like 100 days. So yes, the market is extending. But considering other coins, XRP is not having that much of extension. How can you look that? You look like this top towards this one, the bottom, and you are like, okay, it took like 800 days to bottom, but you are looking like from the bottom, how long it took for this asset to reach the recent peak, which we had in April, May. So that was like $400. So now what you can do is you can go up to any asset which you like, which was there in the last cycle. So you can, take them back from that level and understand whether that's the case for that asset. So this is the peak for that asset, which is Dash. Now you come back here, you look which was the bottom. So the exact bottom here is like 720 days, which is a little bit earlier than what we saw for that of XRP. Now you take this one from the bottom towards the recent top, it's like 500 days. So XRP, even though it had more time to the downside in a bear market, to the upside in a bull market, it was 100 days earlier. Now that means when you go down, when you're in a corrective mode, now this is the psychology of people who are buying in and selling for XRP. So when you move downside in XRP, people tend to say this is not going up, this is not going to go anyway. That kind of stuff comes in, that narrative sets in, and that's why, the supply gets tested, drained, the buyers are, they are tested so much. But when it go back up, it goes exponentially. If you look at these candles, it is easy for you to understand this, right? When you're going up, that's a really short period of time. So if you are not in the market for just 2-3 candles, now this is weekly candles, so 2-3 weeks, you are completely out of the gains in that particular asset. See here, you just had like 3 weeks. So these are stuff which you need to keep in mind. When XRP is going down, it's traveling down a lot in time, in terms of time, because most of the people have hardship handling time. And that's the most important factor you need to become an investor. Because when you see the market test your patience again and again, that is how the market works. It's not only you, it's me, it's anyone who has invested in any different market. They are looking at this. This was a support, this was a resistance. You got resisted here first, then you look at the history, you were resisted here before, supported here before, so that is a valid range, and then you get extended, you're like, okay, that's supported there, we got wicked down, we came to the moving average and bounced, then we came all the way down till here, we are again getting supported. So now what are you anticipating? It's actually basic stuff we are seeing here, right? Each time you have higher momentum, you have higher price fluctuation, you have higher volume. So next time, what are you anticipating? We look like, okay, the price should actually shoot up, it should go up. No one knows when it's going to do, but the trend gives you an idea whether you are near the support or you do have more downside. Previously, when we were here, we talked about this. We have a little bit of downside, but the possibility is there. Because of the fundamental, we can go up. But, again, the price came back to the support range. So if we are bouncing from here, that gives you an idea of what the general market is about to do. Because when you look at the XRP BTC, people were asking, okay, was that a fake out? We're coming back down. And I'm like, at least as of now, I don't think so, because this is the trend line resistance which was there for some time from early November. Now, we broke higher, we reached that level, we tested that couple of times, then bursted through, and we bursted not only through that resistance but also through the moving average, which is significant. Then we tested the moving average, flirted with that sometime, failed and came back down. But we are still holding on to this resistance. So what you as a technical trader looks at is like, are we going to get a bounce? Because that's not only the trend line resistance, it's also horizontal. So if you're getting a bounce, that's like, okay, you are going to go then repeatedly higher to test this high and then move on to test the previous highs here, which is a good value proposition. Now, why is it? Because at the same time, you see the altcoin market showing you this. Yes, we are inside that parallel lines, which we talked about in previous videos. We are in correction. We are going to go upside. But look at the MACD. It's undervalued. Look at the RSI. It's undervalued and it's near the previous support range where you have been there for some time. Now you extend that and you see, okay, even before that we were in that range, we got supported, we moved higher. So these are something which we need to understand before you say, okay, I'm going to buy in, I'm not going to buy in. You do have to understand what and why you're buying in, because there is a lot of NFTs people are jumping into. They're selling their fundamental coins, moving completely into gaming coins, NFT and all. Some of them are even going and opening nodes in Gala Games now, and I'm like, okay, when it was like $500, $1,000 to open a node, it did make a lot of sense. But right now, when it's like 26,000, 27,000, whoo. Now maybe now around after the price drop, I didn't check in last month, even the price drop would be taking it like 20,000. That is not a good value proposition. You have a lot of different ones if you are looking at, but do understand why you are moving into. Because people ask a lot of different questions, and when we look at say another one, when you are looking for Star X, Star J, a lot of different assets are there. You need to understand what it's doing, how much it's giving. So that's for running a node. And then you look at the staking side. So this is a new area of finance, right? We call it crypto world, but it's actually the blockchain, which has two layers. The main is security and security of information and security of value. So the information transfer, that's one major layer, and then the value transfer. So using those, you try to make sense of whether this particular asset has fundamentals. Now that's the only reason why majority of us are here in this asset, because we do believe that this asset is the key and this is going to be the future. And we do believe it's undervalued right now, and looking at the chart, looking at any asset in comparison, you even take nonsense coins and compare it with XRP, they went up, right? So that means you are still down compared to the market fluctuation. So how can you actually look at that? You just go, say for example, we are going to go here, we're going to take the altcoin market cap in comparison. We're going to just take off these. Now if you take off these and put in the altcoin market cap there, and let's move that on to a different pane above, and then let's make both of them in log. So now this is what you are eyeing at. Say this cycle, we can just look at this cycle. We can move it into log, and now you eye what the market in average has done. Say after this run up till this top, this is what you got here. Now that's like 30x. So now you go back down and you go to the bottom, the absolute bottom of that wick, and the absolute top for XRP, and you see XRP has done half of what the average market did. So that's the first wave, right? So usually what happens is everything has a cycle, right? So you kind of come here, you look at different stuff, and it's not only me or you can actually see, like, we actually have, if you are imagining that, the market move like this. Now that's not the best drawing there, but you understand my point. If this is your median line, say for example you take your median line and plot like this, what happens in the market is, if you are up this time, automatically you're down next time, then you're again up, and then you're down. So now in this idea, in this cycle, market cycle, you kind of see like, okay, you went up, but you were way below the average. You are kind of below the moving average of the altcoins. So next time, a lot of coins which went way above that 30x, some went 30, instead of 30, some went like 50, 100,000x. So they're going to underperform this time, mostly. And then those coins which underperformed last time, but had a majority of people buying and accumulating because of the fundamentals, it's going to run higher here. And that is what we are imagining, and that's why we are buying it, because this was the low and you are getting those assets to buy in here. Even though it didn't go up like 30x crazy, it came back down. Now, why am I comparing it with XRP right now? Because you look at, say for example, XLM. It's another asset, it's a payment asset, everything is good for it and blah blah blah. But you come and look at the bottom till the top and the fluctuation, you're like, okay, the average market fluctuation was like 33%, and XLM kind of performed close to that. 26x is not bad, right? It's somewhere close to that. Considering what XRP has done is like 50% less than the average fluctuation. So if you're doubling down, yes, this is asset to fundamentals, but this is one of the reasons why we are in XRP, because we want to buy undervalued asset so that we can ride it to the fair value and get overvalued. Because most of the time what you can easily see or notice is that, say if this is that greedy area of market and this, say for example, is that fearful area of the market, the pendulum, if you imagine, if it's going like this from greed towards fear, it's not stopping in between saying you reach the median or the fair value. It usually is like this, you go here or you directly come back here. It doesn't stop in between. That is one of the reasons why we go up and then come down immediately, right? When we start to drop, people are fearful, they drop everything. Now when a lot of people are dropping everything they have, that's the capitulation, and that's when you usually should be buying back into the market, right? So now we come back into XRP and look at, yes, it did 15x, only 15x, we can use that term, and now we are back at the support. So if you are a long-term trader who understand the fundamental and the possibility of this asset, you are like, okay, there is no question mark for me, I'm buying this asset, there is no doubt for me, right? So if that is you, good luck, but have patience, because if you don't have that level of patience, it's going to be really hard. So guys, I definitely believe you received value for your time, and if you did, please do hit that like and subscribe button. And if you want updates for a lot of different coins to make sense of what the market is doing and all other thing, and how one-on-one conversation about your portfolio, what you can do, are you staking, are you running a node, are you a long-term investor, are you a short-term investor, what's your risk reward ratio in which your portfolio is balanced now, 80 to 20, 50-50, it all depends upon your risk tolerance. But that gives you an ability to rebalance your portfolio in a way that when the next wave up starts, you're positioned well and you make the average fluctuation. If last time it was 30x and you made 10x, it's not bad, great. But next time when it is 60x, you need to make about 30x. That's how you turn your portfolio around, right? Ballooning it. So if you want that, you can definitely look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. So guys, I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.